Hello and welcome to The United Stand. This is your Manchester United transfer news daily, where we give you all the latest Manchester United transfer news and give it some real fan opinion. We're going to start off with Toby Alderweireld. Big hint dropped that he will be leaving Spurs, which to me or to you may well mean that he's coming to Manchester United. I don't necessarily want Alderweireld at United. I've been very consistent about that. But let's talk about why. Well, I think he's leaving Spurs anyway. He's not going to sign a new contract, and some very telling comments from him after the Chelsea game yesterday, where he said that I'm committed to helping the team and I give 100% every game I play. Those are the words of somebody who is reaffirming their commitment to the cause whilst wanting to leave, I think. And I've heard it so many times through the years. Some people, naive people, will twist that and think that that means that he's happy at the club. I think he even used the words that I'm happy at the club, you know, tick a box. But when somebody's saying, I'm here to help the team and that's what I do and I'm giving 100% efforts, that's just telling everybody that he's focused on the job in hand. But he's not signing a new contract, and I don't think he will sign a new contract because he knows that in August, 25 million for him is literally like getting a Ferrari for 25 grand instead of 100 grand. You know, you're getting a very good player for cheap, which means he will get good wages. So he ain't going to sign the contract because Spurs can't pay the wages that United can pay, that City can pay, that even Chelsea can pay. So he knows what he's doing. It's his last big contract as well because he's 30. I think in March or April. So Alderweireld will leave Spurs unless they cough up a massive contract for him. And I don't think Spurs feel the need to do that because they've got some good centre-backs coming through themselves. Now, to be fair to Alderweireld, it's the best game I've seen him play in a long time against Chelsea the other night. He was really, really good. They played quite a deep line, so he didn't really get caught for pace because I think he's lost a bit of pace. And he's a very good centre-back. A lot of you would want him at United. For me, I don't want him at United because I think there's better options out there. Being 30 this season, we wouldn't get him till the summer anyway. So you're buying a 30-year-old centre-back who's going to turn 31 next season. How, you know, and he's, to me, looks like he's on the decline. And actually, over the last 2 years, has been a little bit injury prone. So he just doesn't tick the right boxes. But he is definitely better than Phil Jones, Rojo, Bailly. He's probably better than every centre-back we've got, to be fair. It's just how long he's going to be our best centre-back, if that makes sense. But definitely a hint from Alderweireld that he's going to go. I felt he was going to go for a long time, and I think he would. I wouldn't say definitely leave Spurs, because if they cough up the money, I think he's all about the money for Alderweireld. Not in a mercenary way, I just think it's his last contract. He wants a decent contract, and I don't think Spurs can give him it. So Alderweireld dropping the hint, and I know that'll make a lot of you happy because you do like Toby Alderweireld. Talking about another centre-back, Diego Godin. If you think back to August, it was actually transfer deadline day. I was down at Sky Sports. Woo! It was a waste of time, to be honest. But we were there, and Godin to United was a last-minute sort of thing that could happen. He played us a little bit, really, but it didn't really materialise how he was meant to play us because United were interested in him as a last-minute deal. He's out of contract this summer, and the feeling was that he played us to get a new contract out of Atletico Madrid. But he didn't get a new contract out of Atletico Madrid. He's still free to go this summer, and the strong indications are that he's going to Inter Milan. However, he hasn't signed for Inter Milan yet, and there are some rumours out there, I saw, that maybe United might be tempted to get him. Funnily enough, I don't think United want to pay the wages Inter Milan are going to do. But again, with Godin, I like him, but I wouldn't buy him because at 30, I think he's 32 now, never played in the Premier League. He's a centre-back that plays very well in a defensive system that plays quite deep and is well structured. In the Premier League, it's fast and furious. I think he'll suit Italian football perfectly, and I think that's where he'll go because of that, because the Premier League could damage his reputation. I mean, the only centre-back I can think of that came and played in the Premier League was Laurent Blanc at that sort of age. And it was a mixed bag with Blanc. He was a brilliant player, but it was a bit mixed bag at times. But no, so Godin would be a no for me. Arnautovic, I think this Arnautovic deal rumour is tentative at best. We were in for Arnautovic in the summer. It was a player that Mourinho wanted. I don't think Arnautovic is really what United need, but as a backup striker, maybe, you know, you could argue he's better than Lukaku, really. You can argue it, and I am going to argue it. But no, Arnautovic is more mobile than Lukaku. He's got a better first touch than Lukaku. Then again, who hasn't? My gran has, rest in peace. And you've got, but 35 million to China. He's another of the China brigade. The Chinese league seems to kick in around this time. I think their transfer window closes a little bit later than ours. But there always seems to be a lot of, I don't know whether it's because the Chinese league starts in February, or I don't know whether they're mid-season. I don't watch it. It's crap, but there always seems to be a lot of Chinese interest around now. I remember they were interested in Rooney a year ago. Obviously, Moussa Dembele's going there. There is talk of Arnautovic going there for 35 million. Big money to be made. But United have been mentioned again because we were interested in him in the summer. I don't see anything in it, and I don't think for 1 minute United would go toe-to-toe with Chinese money for Arnautovic, because if they want to pay 35 million for him and give him, I don't know, half of China and 500 grand a week, then that's up to them. But United will not be in for Arnautovic. No way. Another player that's moved that a lot of you were speaking about was Pavard. He's moved. He's going to go to Bayern Munich in the summer. And the trend, which I talk about quite a lot in Germany, where Bayern Munich have this monopoly. It would be a bit like Manchester United being the best club in England, which we should be, but then any decent player in the league we just get. It doesn't matter who it's from. If Arsenal had a decent player, we'd get theirs. If City did, Everton, they literally have been doing this for years. They hoover up the best talent from the league to Bayern Munich, and that's why they've been so dominant. That's why I want Dortmund to win the league again, because they've done it at Dortmund. They took Lewandowski, they took Goetz. That's what they do. They take all the best players from their league. But a few of you wanted Pavard. He's going to go to right back for France in the World Cup. He's going to go to Bayern Munich. Boring. Bayern Munich have been doing it for years. Everyone goes on about how well run Bayern Munich are, and German football is well run. But the way that they dominate that league, I think it's a bit of a monopoly. I don't really like it. I don't watch Bundesliga because of it. But I'll watch it this year if Dortmund win it. Up yours, Bayern. Who else did I want to talk about? Milenkovic. Not Milinkovic-Savic, Milenkovic. Now, he's a centre-back at Fiorentina. I think he's 21 now. We're linked to him quite heavily. I think that there was rumours at one of the international breaks that Mourinho was going to watch him play for Serbia. He's a centre-back for Serbia, plays with Matic. The latest thing is that Manchester United are no longer interested in him because he was a Mourinho-specific signing. But it depends which way you want to jump with that. I mean, he's a potentially good centre-back. The next Vidic, apparently, which is nonsense. He's not the next Vidic. He's not like Vidic. He's just Serbian and a good centre-back, and that means you're the next Vidic. It's like if you're Argentinian and you're an attacker, you're the next Messi. The next winger from Portugal will be the next Ronaldo. It's the way it is. Skriniar is probably the closest thing to Vidic at the moment, and I hope we do sign him. But apparently we're not interested in Milenkovic. I think Milenkovic is a bit like Eder Militao I was talking about yesterday, the Porto Brazilian centre-back. That's not the kingpin centre-back I was talking about last night. I think if you buy Milenkovic, it's like he's one for the future. That's not what we need. We need somebody for now. We need somebody to come in and grab hold of that defence like Van Dijk has done for Liverpool. So I don't see that. But an interesting subplot is that Pereira's been linked with a move to Fiorentina, so it makes you think, oh, is there something in that? So watch the space on that. But I would think that the Milenkovic to United thing is pretty much finished off now. I don't think anything will happen with that. And also, yes, I heard some people. I read something yesterday and I just totally disagreed with it. And I took a note of it to bring it into the Transfer Daily because I wanted to see what your thoughts are. Please do get your comments in below as per usual, on Toby Alderweireld especially. I really want to see what you think about him. Are there some of you that think it's a good deal to do now, or are you like me thinking we won't get him in January, I don't think. Do you want him at 30? I think he's on the decline. I don't know about that. Obviously, everything else is spoken about. But yeah, what I saw yesterday, I wanted to get your thoughts on, is that I'd read a few people saying that it's not about signing players this transfer window. United need to sort out retaining the players whose contracts is running out. Our priority should be contract renewals. And I thought, have you actually looked at who needs a new contract? Because it should take all of 5 minutes. It's not, we shouldn't be downing tools on signing players because we're doing contract renewals. But I thought, you know what? If this is what we do, it's going to really annoy me if at the end of the month we come out of it with no signings. But look at all the players we've renewed the contracts on. And we've already done Smalling. Jones is a player. Valencia, Ashley Young, Darmian, Juan Mata, Ander Herrera, Andreas Pereira. Now, Herrera, fine. Mata, I'm not so sure. Darmian, no. Valencia, no. Young, no. Jones, no. So, should we be wasting our time? Oh, no. Let me rephrase that. What do you think? Should we be prioritising contract renewals or prioritising signing players? Because I look at those contract renewals and I think, apart from Ander Herrera, maybe Pereira, I don't really care about the other ones. I don't. we shouldn't be prioritising that, because all we're doing is retaining deadwood. And aren't we trying to get rid of that? So actually, if we come out of this transfer window and we've renewed the contracts of Phil Jones, Valencia, Ashley Young, Pereira, Herrera, Mata and Darmian, and not bought anybody and not sold anybody, I think that would be an absolute disaster transfer window. But give us your thoughts on that. Anyway, I wanted to know what your thoughts are, what your thoughts were on that. Link in the video description for Football Index. I always do this. Remember, if you are going to have a go at it, you've got to be over 18. Please do gamble responsibly. The way Football Index works, and it's really good at the moment, because of the transfer window. It's good all year round. Loads of people are getting involved. Feel free to tweet me if you want to talk about it. I do get involved in it. There are forums for it as well. Lots of people getting involved in this. So basically how it works is it's a stock market basically for players, where you can buy players in, buy shares in players. And as you can see, I've got the top 200 open at the moment, and the prices are changing all the time. Prices will change on stories and on performance on the pitch. Now, as you can see, Icardi, I mean, he's well cheap. Icardi is really cheap, actually. Let me just have a look at Mario Icardi. So, over the last 6 months, what's he done? I mean, he was down at £3 6 months ago. He's down on a month. He's up to £4.34 a share. If Icardi comes to England, he'll go up to £8 a share. He will. So he's a decent one to get on. Koulibaly, where are you, Khalidou? There he is. Okay, Koulibaly, £3.48 a share. 6 months ago, he was down £2. So he's on the rise. If he comes to England as well, his price will go up. But everybody in the top 200 at the moment, they're players like Higuain. Higuain is ridiculously cheap, £2.73. Get on him. If he goes to Chelsea, get on him, because £2.73 for a striker is ridiculously cheap, because he'll score loads for Chelsea. If you look at my portfolio, Rashford's up at £8.35. So £8.35 Rashford is a share. Sanchez is £5.49. So Higuain, £2.73 a share. He's gonna go big. I'm tempted to. I'm gonna get 5. I think he will go to Chelsea. I'm gonna get 5. So link in the video description for that. Remember, you've got to be over 18. Please do gamble responsibly. But yeah, effectively, you know, you can have a bet on United winning for a tenner and lose it if they lose, or you can put it into shares and have a go on that. What I would say is, if you're going to do it, you probably want to go in with a minimum of 20 quid. So if you can't afford it, don't play it. Please don't. But I do it as a sort of long-term thing. But you could buy Higuain, watch his price go up over the next couple of days, sell him at a higher price and go and get somebody else if you know what you're doing. Like I say, there's forums and all sorts for it, but I just do it for like a bit of a long-term thing. I just buy a portfolio of players, watch their prices go up with a long-term strategy on players that I know, like Mason Greenwood, Chong, Rashford. I know their prices are going to keep going up. So for me, it's like put a couple of £100 in and watch it go up, and maybe I make £100 by the summer. So I think I'm on 90 quid so far, and I've only been doing it for a month. So link in the video description for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Please do drop a like on the video. We're back again at 8 o'clock tonight with the preview. I've got expressions on. That's going to be really good. Please drop a like on the video, and do give us your comments on Toby Alderweireld. Would you want him? Should we be focusing on contract renewals? Are you disappointed that Milenkovic may not be coming? What do you think about Godin? Would you go for that? And are you disappointed about people like Pavard and Arnautovic? I'm not. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.